Mute off. This call is being recorded.
Good afternoon. We'll call the meeting back to order. We'll start with 2.310, 2021 Alberta Provincial Planners Institute request for sponsorship.
Good afternoon, Council. On page 217 of your agenda package was a request from the Alberta Professional Planners Institute that requested a donation from Wheatland County in the amount of $500. We put the information in the package. If there are any questions, please let me know. Thank you. That I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I assume they would. I'm assuming they're looking for a blanket sponsorship of money for their conference.
This is a provincial organization where we send our planners to, or most planners in the county or in the province.
So it would be a provincial one, and we typically do send our planners to it.
Is it as a registration fee, or?
I would believe so. I don't know off the top of my head, but I would imagine there would be.
I can't remember donating anything before.
And I don't think we have since I've been here in 2016. I think I would recall anyways, but yeah, it was brought forward and just has to be included in the package. So here we are.
Yeah. No, I'm not really in favor of, we pay a registration fee, the same as everyone else. If they don't have enough money, just increase the registration fee, then everybody pays the same.
Try to figure out whether or not we can learn the correct positioning of bike paths or not, whether it's that important to us or not, but I don't think we need to do this, but. Yeah, I'll move that we accept this information.
Any questions or discussion? You moved for information. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. We'll move to 2.311, Fire Services Records Management.
Well, I did, yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, Council. Matt Buscariel from Administration, here to present the Fire Services Records Management, Firefighter Alert, and AVL Automatic Vehicle Live upgrades and changes. So there's a report before you on page 224 of your agenda package. Fire Services has been working with Information Technology Services in the process of procuring a new records management, firefighter alert, and live automated vehicle location AVL systems. So in that process, the intent for these systems was to replace two existing systems, which is, as Council may know, Fire Pro, and I Am Responding, to allow for the AVL system to centrally coordinate all fire apparatus. I think a big benefit of this, the new AVL and records management systems provides for a robust, faster, more expeditious, accurate incident report. So the reporting that we have will be much more accurate. It'll be all-encompassing, and the benefit as well in terms of the technical direction is to integrate seamlessly with WDEMS's computer-aided dispatch system. So this whole concept was presented on multiple occasions, and we've had numerous meetings with obviously a couple of committees, the Fire Committee and the Capital Committee, and unanimous support across the board from all chiefs and members. We recently, at the beginning of August, presented this concept to the Capital Committee, talked about the rollout of this concept, and everyone was really on board and excited to start the training of the new kind of technologies, records management that we're bringing into it. So a couple of the benefits there: unanimous support across the board from all stations, including the associations, as well as a couple of cost savings, upfront cost savings that we have here laid out on page 225 of your agenda package with respect to the upfront capital costs. And another item that I'd just like to note in terms of working with information technology is that this is going to fall under the IT budget as well. And Corey's here to answer any questions with that respect, as well as with the technological changes. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
So I'm thinking when EMSA moves to that new protocol, that new where they can tax, this is seamless too.
Yeah, through the Reeve, that's correct.
Any questions? Council's wishes?
So the intent was all fire departments be included in it, not just county fire departments?
That's correct. So at the start, we had budgeted, we have a difference in terms of even getting all of the associations on board. Our first intent was to cover the county, but then in recognizing the cost savings with the technology and the innovations that we were able to get in conjunction with Corey's group, we were able to notice that actually we can include every single department association under this for the upfront cost to implement this technology. So everyone, the intent is for everyone to come on board. It'd be a seamless, slick operation.
I'll make the motion that council approve the amended appropriation of funds for the new records management, firefighter alert, and live automated vehicle location system to expand and include rural fire associations within the approved scope of the work set out in the 2021 Information Technology Operating and Capital Budget, period.
Any questions or discussion? I want to thank you for bringing this forward and just recognize how appreciative we are that it was discussed with the fire chiefs at their committee meeting and with the capital committee meeting. I think it really shows the commitment to building relationships and collaborating and consensus-based decision-making for our fire service. And I know council really appreciates that and our community appreciates that. So please thank your team for that. Fully support the recommendation. So any other questions or comments?
Just a question, this vehicle live upgrade, like, will that protect say a firefighter or an individual that goes out on a call to, will he be tracked, like we can find out whether or not he's okay, or is that covered in this?
I'm going to actually grab Corey to explain the technicalities.
Through the Reeve, it will monitor their location. They have the I Am Responding app right now. That's going to be switched out to a new system, which is very similar. So we'll know who's responding to an incident when they respond on their phone, and then from that point on, it does track them until they get to the scene while they're on the scene. So,
If I understand correctly, it tracks the vehicle, but not the individual firefighter?
So the scope of this is actually the I Am Responding, which is the volunteer firefighter app on their phone that says, yep, I want to respond to that. So we're changing that out as well as part of the scope, and as well as the fire apparatus.
So if they have their phone on them, you can actually
See where
track
everybody
the firefighters
is.
as well. That's
That's
awesome.
right, yeah.
That's
Thank you.
Yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah, just the firefighter safety element of it, it's incredible. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. We'll move to 2.312, encroachment agreement, Cheadle Barn.
Didn't even know Cheadle had a barn until today. But I've seen that building, I didn't know it was a barn.
Good afternoon. Bryce Mackin presenting the encroachment agreement Cheadle Barn recommendation from administration. The owners of roll 9241040 applied for a letter of compliance and approval of a real property report. The report showed an existing barn structure that encroaches 0.45 meters into Cousins Street in Cheadle. A request has been submitted for an encroachment agreement for the structure to permit it to remain in place for its useful life or until the road is developed or widened, necessitating removal, whichever occurs first. And I'll scroll down just to show a location of it. That's Cousins Street. I don't know if we can see the pointer. Cousins Street, and this is the barn in question.
So in approving that, if there's a road adjustment or anything along that line, is the cost of the removal of that on the owner or the county?
The owner.
Is that in the document?
Yes.
Great.
I'll move that council approve the encroachment agreement with the owners of roll number 924-1040 in the hamlet of Cheadle, based on the information as presented.
Questions or discussion?
Good afternoon again. Encroachment agreement amendment for the Cheadle Ball Field. Council Resolution 13-0907 approved an encroachment agreement for undeveloped road allowances with the Cheadle Community Club and the Cheadle Community Club jointly, with the area to be used as part of the local ball diamond. An agreement for this purpose was finalized November 4th, 2016 and registered on the adjacent lands. To maintain a steady water supply to maintain the field, a dugout was subsequently constructed by the agreement holders in the undeveloped road allowance. However, the location was not part of the area of the original agreement. A request has been received to include this area in the agreement. The area is not used as public road and does not impede access to any adjacent lands. I'll also scroll down. Okay, thank you. To the diagram. This was the original encroachment area around the baseball diamond. And here is the portion that we are adding, the rectangle above here. There is a small dugout created for irrigation purposes. The administration is recommending that we do approve the amendment to the schedule, but there's a small amendment to the recommendation here. There's a typo. In it, it says the Cheadle Community Club and the Cheadle Community Club. It should say the Cheadle Community Club and the Lions Club in the recommendation from administration. I'm here for any questions.
Yeah. Oh. I'm like, yeah, it's in the package.
Yeah, it's in the package. No.
Sorry. I was just saying that there are clauses in this contract as well as in the previous one, just to clarify, where the county can give 30 days notice and the owner is responsible for removing the permitted use and restore the encroachment area. And if that's not done, then the county can do it and the cost is borne by the owners. So that is in both, as well as maintenance and insurance and all of those important considerations. Any other questions or comments? Council's wishes.
I'll move the the recommended action from administration.
Councillor Armstrong has moved. Any questions or debate? All in favor? Motion is carried. We'll move to 2.314.
So again, Bryce Mackin presenting, sale of Stobart Station lands. On February 16th, 2021, Council adopted Resolution 2021-0272, directing the administration to explore the sale of county-owned lands located in W28-22-23-4 to the adjacent landowner at a valuable comparable to the sale price offered to and accepted by all other landowners along the same rail line in 2009. As the sale value is below current market value, the sale must be advertised under the MGA, Division 8, Section 71. An advertisement for this purpose was placed in the local newspaper, and over 60 days has elapsed prior to the resolution being presented to council for consideration, as required under Section 606 of the MGA. There were no inquiries made from the advertisement of the sale of land. The closure and transfer of the undeveloped road allowance containing 0.015 acres that lies within the area of sale is being managed under bylaw 2021-16, running concurrently with this file and at the public hearing stage. That was presented earlier today and accepted. That is my presentation. I'm here for any questions.
Any questions? Council's wishes.
I'll move the recommendation.
Councillor Bigger has moved. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Move to 2.315.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Brad Bullock. I'm presenting a recommendation from administration. So this is regarding the Township Road 272 slide repair. So there was a slide on this road which has compromised a portion of the road, which has had to get shut down, and it's essentially operating as a single lane road currently. So back at the beginning of May, Council made a resolution to approve funding for the repair of this road, emergency funding in the amount of $650,000. Upon receiving tenders back and reissuing a tender with a correction from the engineering consultant, the bids came back at the end of July, either over budget, over that approved budget, or there was one that was under, but it was outside of the scheduled, the project schedule. So administration, we did decide to not accept any of the bids due to concerns of obviously the budget as well as the construction schedule getting quite late in the season for this type of work. And in that concerns potentially the quality of the work if we ran into poor weather conditions towards the end, late October. And so the intention now is to rebid that work towards the beginning of 2022, give the contractors a little bit more time to bid on the work and hopefully get better pricing, as well as execute the work in spring, early summer, after the winter and spring season to get more favorable weather conditions for the work. We did contact, one of the concerns that we had was whether this road, the remaining portion of the road, would remain stable during the winter months until we were able to get to do the work. We did contact the engineering consultants about that. They have informally responded that they feel confident that road will remain intact, or the portion that's still remaining. And we're just waiting on a formal memo from them to that point, but they have given us an email to that end. And that's my report.
So I've had a few calls on it. That's why I asked Brian to put it on here. It's turning, because of the time, because we have an election this year, it's turning into an election issue with the two members that are running out there, and the public is putting a lot of pressure on them because there's nothing saying this road's going to get done. So I would like today to put a motion on the floor to take that away so that they're not badgered with it. If somebody has any problems, they can phone me about it. But if we put a motion on the floor to put an RFP out now for work to start in the spring of the year, end of April, 1st of May, so that we have that in place right now that tells the residents that we haven't forgot about it, it's in the works. You don't have to bug them about it. You don't need them to promise it's going to get done because it's already on the books. It's there and it'll get done in the. So if that works with it, that shouldn't bother your budgeting process any because it's still in your 2022 year, and they'll still give me some phone calls because it's still another winter that they have to go through. But it should take the pressure off the two guys that are out there trying to campaign for. Because they're already getting quite a bit of pressure from the ratepayers on. You promised me you're going to get that kind of stuff, and I don't think that's fair to them to have to go through that.
Yes, absolutely. So kind of my thought process behind this was to add in the second resolution that the Township Road 272 slide repair be added into the capital budget for 2022. We could also, if council wishes, we could also add in a clause that the RFP for Township Road 272 be completed and sent out, like
right immediately, so that
like inform council when it is completed, because realistically all of that work is completed. It's just about getting 2022 pricing. So we can definitely resend it out without any issue. I actually believe we've already started doing it again, so. I think we definitely would have had it done in 2021. I think the reasons for not getting it done were kind of outlined in the report, but both kind of being over budget, and we felt that there's a higher probability that the cost of the project would come in lower in 2022, just based on future or planning for construction crews to come out and actually do it. So.
You would hope, but I kind of doubt if it'll happen. Take that money you saved on the equipment sales and put it in that.
That's a prime example of how you can use that type of money for a project like this, though. In all honesty, a project that we couldn't complete internally. It's definitely interesting out there. That kind of slide itself had been out there. That material is very brittle, kind of underneath. So I'm not surprised, but I'm looking forward to getting it repaired.
So I guess the other thing is that regardless of what the bids come back at, like we say that it should cost, we have to make a commitment that we will do that job in the spring of 2022, not depending on budget, that we will make sure there's enough in the budget to cover it. If it's over, if it's under, fine. If it's over, we'll still proceed with that project.
And at that point, we would have firm pricing in place, and we could amend the capital budget at that point in April, as we usually tend to do. So we would have a better idea at that point. But I think just the issue of like the road sliding, just us trying to get a number out there. If the project had come in under the proposed amount we brought to council, we would have just done it. But unfortunately, it came in like $70,000 over was the one that said they could have done it for, I think it was $720 or $730 or somewhere around there. So yeah, it would have got done if it was within budget. We just felt that the amount was probably a little bit too high based on an emergency repair, and given that,
I understand all that. I was ready for the ratepayers, but now that they've turned it into I think it's unfair for those two members. So, do you want me to put a motion on there to add that to your put the RFP out right away? And how do you want that worded?
We can, or you can put that motion forward. Either one. Yeah. Why don't you put the motion forward, and I'll follow up and say that it was completed.
Okay, I'll put that motion on the floor then, that we reissue the proposal for request for proposal to do that road in the spring because of issues with the contractor before, and it will be in place for end of April, May 1st of next spring.
To be included in the 2022 capital budget.
Yeah.
Just a question to administration. Would you anticipate that we would still be able to realize the competitive pricing if we reissue now for a spring repair?
I would suggest that earlier issuance is better, and that's the hope because it was a rush project. The concern is that perhaps we weren't getting the best pricing. That may or may not be the case, but with more time, you generally get a better price.
Perfect. Any questions or discussion? There's a motion on the floor. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Thank you. I will relay that to my candidates that it's looked after so they don't have to worry about it. Thank you.
We'll move to correspondence. A piece of informal correspondence as well that came to Wheatland County Council and staff. A thank you from the CAO of WFCSS. I'll just hand it around to council to read. Well, we have the correspondence in the package. Letter regarding the federal gas tax funding. Thank you from the town of Strathmore CAO regarding the 2020 CRISP funding. An RMA response to the HEMS report that the province sent out recently. Letter from Alberta Municipal Affairs outlining some Senate Election Act and Referendum Act funding, and a community policing report from RCMP. I don't think any of those require any action unless anybody saw anything that I missed. If not, just a motion to accept as information.
I'll move that we accept the correspondence as information.
Councillor Eichert has moved. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. That brings us to our closed session items. Do you have a motion to add something to our closed session agenda?
Yes, I would like to add an item, if it's okay with council, to the closed session. I just don't know what it would be under.
Just say a development matter.
Development matter?
Probably under section 24. Advice from officials. We'll go with that. Just call the question on the addition to the closed session agenda. All in favor? Motion is carried. I'll move us into closed session. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Call recording and transcription are turned off.